Hello everyone and welcome back to Chaos Creations. Now before anyone asks, I am working on the big claw and the gun, but this weekend I have a little bit of a quest to do, and some of that is why I'm here today. Now, I have been playing Warhammer since 1983, and I've never actually owned a completely fully painted and based army ever. I mean, I've gotten close a few times, but never everything completely finished. And I'm one miniature away, which is this wonderful gentleman here, who, for those who remember the old days, this is like a moon face, and he's on like a mushroom disco zench. And I popped him on a little base, and that's my mission for this weekend, mostly to paint this guy up and make him look awesome. And the rest of my army is all painted, and I can hang my head up high saying I have an army. After that, of course, I still got to do the other Chaos Army, the Undead Army, and my Skaven Army. But at least I have something fully painted. I can go to games and learn tactics and so forth. So those of you might remember this gentleman. Let me just turn that light on. That might be a bit better. It's a beautiful miniature. Metal, of course, from back in the day. And one of my personal favourites. I just love the moon face. It's just absolutely awesome. Very zench. But what I want to talk to you today about is I found this old thing, Space Marine. For those that don't know it, it's like a epic scale for Warhammer, a bit like War Master, but in 40K, and I think this was 6mm. And I came across this, I don't know, about a week or so ago, and it's beautiful. It's got, even if you don't like the rules, it's got this amazing artwork. We've got Titans, tanks, troops, the whole shebang, and the whole thing is just full of fluff as much as it is rules. Tanks and weapons and so forth, and just some nice artwork, orcs and such, and there are some rules and beautiful artwork. Here we have, I don't know if you can see it properly, but, we have Titans versus Titans, lots of Chaos Renegades and so forth. It's just all very beautiful. And the entire book is just full of all this gorgeous art as well as rules. And I thought to myself, where was the rest of the stuff? And then I remembered, of course, that my ex-wife from long ago decided to sell all my Warhammer stuff rather cheaply because men don't play with little plastic miniatures. This is why we broke up, among many reasons. But I thought, well, I should have some 3D files somewhere of this stuff. And sure enough, I found a few files. So I decided to print up some Tyranids, and we've got like, I don't know if you can see it very well. It's like a little, I think it's a Tygon or something. No, not Tygon. That's like a little tank dude. And then, other ones as well. This is my personal favorite. I love this. I believe this was called the Tomato Chucker. For obvious reasons, it's got little hands like they're throwing tomatoes. This one is also very nice as well. And they turned out really well. So I thought, all right, well, let's just up the game a little bit. And the files I have are not particularly the best. I mean, that is about the best detail you're going to get with these miniatures, all right? I don't know if you're going to see that properly, but, that's about the best you're going to get. And that is not too bad. It's epic scale. It's, when the dudes are like, 6mm big, a centimetre and a bit, half a centimetre and a bit, So I upped the game and I went, all right. So I did I think it's a Hive Tyrant. No, it's a Screamer Killer, isn't it? Yes. So a little Screamer Killer there. And this is all PLA plus, by the way. And then I did a Hive Tyrant. Now, the detail isn't particularly good because the files details aren't particularly good. If I remember rightly, these were scanned back in the early 90s by somebody in England. So, the scanner quality wasn't that great, but you get the idea of what that is. And on the board, you go, Hive Tyrant, by no worries then. So then I decided to go one more, and this is a Tygon. Somebody did some extra details on this, and it's turned out quite nice. So I thought, well, I'm doing well, I'll print out a Bio Titan. I used to have like 12 of these things, and I used to have them on the battlefield. I was looking absolutely kick-ass. So My first attempt at Biototen, yeah, not so good. And the main reason is the legs here, they weren't being supported underneath. And every time I tried to print it, the legs would just, crumble. They would just be terrible. So, all right, worked with the shitty box and got different files, got some different bits of like legs going underneath some ports. And I did another one. And this one turned out great, except for its missing legs. Same problem as before. They weren't getting supported enough underneath, and they failed. Now, old me would have looked at this and gone, no, it's too hard. I'll just go away and I'll print something else out. Blah, 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 blah. Suki la. But I went back and went double as hard. And what I did was I took it from a light support setting to a medium support setting on Shittybox. And then what I did was I put extra support. So realistically, these are these are light. They're very, very small, tiny little wispy legs of support. So I did it a bit more heavier. I went to medium, not heavy, but medium. And then what happens is, ta-da, you have your Titan, Biotitan. Now, once again, the details aren't great, so I printed this out at 0.2, not 0.1. These ones down here, these are all 0.1, and they're fine. They're little tiny things. You want to get as much detail as possible out of them, because they are quite small. A Biotitan is quite large and chunky, and once again, like I said, the details were not fantastic on the actual files, so, I'm not losing anything. I mean, this was printed out at 0.1, so if you look at the details on the legs and so forth, and then you look at the details on this at 0.2, I'm really not seeing a lot of difference. If anything, the 0.2 seems to be a bit more crisper. I don't know why, but that's just how it looks. So 0.2 is what I'll do Titans in. Now, the reason why I'm letting you all know this is because I've had a lot of people asking me about support, naughty me, about my printing abilities using resin settings and so forth. So it is possible. Now, these were all printed out with light settings, all right? They had minimal supports. There was one, like I think, on the very tip here and one for the little nose bit, and that was it. So these ones are quite easy at 0.1, and the same with these. I mean, I think, remember with the Carnifex here, the Screamer Killer, whatever you want to call it, it had a support here, here, up here, and down there, and that was it. Because the rest of it just printed straight up, not a problem. Hive Torrent was a little different, of course, but you get the idea. So light settings, 0.1. I think each one of these took an hour to print. Now, the interesting thing is I get asked this question a lot. Why print these out when you can buy them, willy-nilly on eBay and friends, family, blah, blah. Okay, so at the moment I looked at some Biotitans on eBay. Now, don't get me wrong, the metal ones are stunning. They are absolutely gorgeous, and I love them. But for a Biotitan in a box was $300 Australian, I think it was, plus postage, which would have been about $30, $40. The cheapest Biotitan I found was $280 with, I think it was about $10 shipping. So either way, for one Biotitan, it's expensive. And the same with these little tanks and so forth. For the most part, they were selling for around about $50 Australian for a pack of 3, plus $20 postage. And things like, the Carnifexes and the Hive Torrents were even more expensive, about $100 Australian. And once again, $20 shipping. Now, this Biotitan to print was 55 cents for a Biotitan. For all of these, that's 4 tanks, a Carnifex, a Hive Tyrant, and a Tygon. That was, I think, 29 cents or something very small. So if you have the 3D printer, it is possible to do these sort of prints with the resin settings on a PLA. Now, I say from day one, I will never, ever get the same quality as resin printing. It's not going to happen. You know, resin printing is, the piece resistance. But I'm really getting sick and tired of people saying to me, oh, well, look, if you don't have a resin printer, you can't print out miniatures. You can't print out this. You can't print out that. And I say, well, no, of course you can. It may not be the best quality, but, it's still not too bad. And then at the very end, just now, it's just come off the printer. I printed out something that I've always wanted to own, but never actually owned one. And that is the dominatrix for the Tyranids. Now, once again, it's, quite nice. It's not too bad quality for what it is. The bigger a miniature is, of course, the better it is going to be on a 3D printer, PLA and such, because, it's not lots of little flimsy bits and pieces. If I remember rightly, one of these things, little mandibles, came off when I was removing supports, but that's about it. And, it looks lovely, and just pop that down, on a battlefield. It's going to look lovely, a couple of Bio-Titans wandering around and such. The only thing I haven't tried printing out yet are the troops, which are 6mm. And I'm a bit scared, to be honest with you. I don't think it's possible. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a darn good go. But I don't think it's going to really happen. And that's fine, because, resin printing needs to, there he goes. Resin printing does need to have some things that it can do that I cannot. And, that's fine. But I will give it a go, and I'll see how I do. And if I fail, well, I'll try some different ways. And if I fail, then so be it. I do have a lot of plastic chaos. So I've got like 5 or 6 sprues of that. I actually got those off a mate about 5-10 years ago. And he also gave me the metal Great Demon of Khorne and Slaanesh. So, win-win there. I can always just pop a couple of demons down if I want to do a Chaos army, or, I can do a Tyranid army. And I'm thinking of doing maybe a little bit for all races, and then try to get some of my friends in and have a game. I'll have to read the rules, of course, but I think it would be nice, a little nostalgia-wise, just to have, a couple of battles. Excuse me. So, if you have any questions, just ask. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. So, over the weekend, my mission is to, where is he? Paint him up complete. Try to get as much of a Tyranid army printed out. And then, I don't know, maybe Elder next, because, I really hate Elder and I need something to shoot. So Elder might be it, or maybe I might do Imperial Guard, lots of tanks. That said, I do have a lot of Legions Imperialis 3D printed. So realistically speaking, all I would need would be, I don't know, a whole lot of the little Space Marine characters, like the dudes on their 4x4 bases. And I've got tanks, I've got planes, I've got flyers, and I own a couple of, the big box sets of Adeptus Titanicus. So I've got Titans there. They're a little bit out of scale, but they're Titans after all. They're humongous, massive machines. So that might be the way to go. Or I'll just get out the Knights. There's lots of Knights in those box sets. Put them together, maybe some Reavers, maybe some Warhounds. That said, I do have Warhound Titans, the metal ones, somewhere in this place. I know of at least 2 metal ones I have, and I may have a Reaver here somewhere as well. The remains of what was once a fantastically huge army before the ex-wife decided to get rid of it all. I am getting back to my collection, and this time I'm doing it cheaper with 3D prints. All right, well, that's enough from me. The last thing I do want to say is, if anyone wants help with resin support settings for printing in PLA, just ask, and I am more than happy to help, okay? It is a bit of a challenge and daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, printing up miniatures like, 38mm and even 24mm becomes very, very simple. And I've printed out Warmaster, and now I'm printing out even smaller scale in the 6mm variety. So, it's doable, guys. Don't be scared. Have fun and enjoy yourself always. And as I say, love the game, whatever it is, and love life. This is Chaos signing off. Bye-bye.